So what does the drummer in a rock band know about football? Why are we even bothering to talk to him? Mind you, he is related to a rather famous goalkeeper. I've got the very great pleasure to introduce a cards on the table guest by the name of Nick Banks.
Thank you, Alan.
Greetings to you, Nick. And people will recognise that as a very famous name.
It's a clue.
Yes, a clue, isn't it?
It's a clue.
Very big clue. Not only is it famous for the fact that you are the drummer in Pulp,
Yes.
very successful
Yes.
rock band, but you have a rather famous relative, uncle.
Uncle Gordon, indeed. I used to think it would go in my favour having a famous uncle called Gordon Banks. He'd say to someone we'd meet, maybe a female or something like, "Oh yeah, my uncle's Gordon Banks." They go, "Yeah, my uncle's Derek." And they'd never know. So, he'd say it to the blokes, they go, "Oh, is that right? Oh, marvellous." I'd be very interested. So it never really worked in my favour that much.
No?
No.
Oh, I'm amazed at that.
No,
So people just don't believe you, or...
Some people just never heard of him, but they're generally...
That's sad.
They might be the young ladies I was trying to talk to.
Possibly. That is so sad that there certainly is a generation now that doesn't automatically know the name of Gordon Banks.
Yeah, indeed, yeah.
Now,
That's right.
I'm guessing you're too young to have been around in '66?
Well, I was a year and a day old when England won the World Cup. And my mum and dad went, but they left me and my brother back home. So I'm forever, struggling to wonder why they didn't take me in a bag. So I could say my first ever match was the '66 World Cup final.
That's a great pity, but
Yeah.
I'm guessing you've heard something about it since then.
Yeah, obviously Gordon does like to, talk about these things. Certainly at family events, when there's a speech to be made, he'll go off on one of his anecdotes when he should be kind of toasting the bride and groom or talking about someone's christening or something. He'll go off to
And he's shouted down by his family.
Well, I think everyone just kind of rolls the eyes and sort of go, we've heard this one, But it's great, he's done it in a wonderfully loving way.
That's something so different because we've all got elderly relatives and they do repeat themselves and tell you the same story over and over
They
again.
do.
I'm not sure I get too bored of hearing my uncle talking about winning the World Cup.
Well,
for England.
exactly, But then, you do get jaded by these things when you've heard, talk about his Greavesy anecdotes several times. But then I didn't really see him because he lived over in sort of Leicester and then over in Stoke. So we didn't see him a great deal when I was kids. You'd go over once every couple of months or so for a Sunday dinner and play with their kids and all that kind of stuff.
Apart from being a very great goalkeeper and being a member of that very famous team and a great achievement, your uncle is also noted as being a great ambassador for his sport, a great sportsman, a man of great dignity, integrity.
Certainly.
And very, very good for the game. So I'm just wondering what the family view is about refereeing, because I doubt very much whether he bothered any of them.
No, I don't think they didn't probably have cards in those days, did they really? But I don't think he ever got rebuked by a ref. But one of his anecdotes, one of the last ones I remember him telling me, was about a penalty that Greavesy took against him. There was this penalty, and Gordon, Greavesy put the ball down on the spot, and Gordon went to dry his hands on the towel, and Greavesy pops the ball in the net. And so Gordon's like, the ref, "What? I wasn't ready." The ref goes, "Goal." And so Greavesy's got the ball under his arm, going, giving him a bit of stick as he go past,
Yeah.
But, you'd imagine if that happened today, everyone would be running to the ref and it'd be shouting in their faces and really giving it all that. And I think it's just one of those cultural things of a different era. I suppose that kind of respect for an authority figure where they just kind of go, "Oh, that's what the ref says, that's what it goes." You don't crowd around the ref shouting straight into his face. You just kind of go, "That's the way it goes."
Was that a better era?
I think it was, yeah. I definitely think it was, because I'm involved with a bit of football myself, because my daughter plays football. And although the girls' game is a lot different to the youth boys' game, I think has a far more aggressive nature to it, because you got the dads on the sideline thinking, "Oh, my lad's going to be the new Rooney," and all this sort of thing. And they get far too heads up in the game. Whereas the girls' game, it's a little bit more gentler. But you could just imagine that, if little lad 12 seeing all these Premier League stars and First Division and what have you going up to the ref and giving them an earful, then they might think, well, that's what you do. So they would perhaps emulate that themselves, and it's not good, is it? It's not good manners.
But we're getting away from that, I think, a little bit. There's a recognition that we've got to change the culture of our game.
I hope we can, yeah. I hope we can, certainly.
Yeah, and your daughter enjoys it? What
she does.
Does she play? What position
she generally plays right midfield, and she really enjoys it. She's got a good pass on her, certainly, and it's great for them to get out, make new friends, do exercise. Because a lot of the rest of the time she'll be sat looking at a computer. You can bet your bottom dollar.
Not going to be a musician then?
I said to them, I set a drum kit up at home, and I said, right, because she'd been bugging me. She'd been saying, Dad, drumming lessons, give us some drums. We know how to play the drums. Right, fine, no problem. Set some drums up, and we said, right, I'm going to give you a half an hour drumming lesson. So play the drums for half an hour. I said, right, try doing this. And she was okay, starting to get a bit of a feel thing. I said, right, I'm never ever going to give you another drumming lesson until I hear you practicing on your own. So how many lessons has she had, Alan?
Well, I'm guessing it's a nice round figure.
Just the one so far.
One.
So yeah, because when I started to learn to play, it was literally a case of set up, and you just of an afternoon, you just bash away and play and practice like you'd be kicking a ball against a wall or against the garage door for hours and hours on end. Just honing your skills of how to control the ball and how to move your body. Simply the drums, just playing and getting a feel for what you're doing. So
parents are traditionally intolerant, though, of drumming practice, and they don't buy drum kits for that reason.
You have to be.
But you wouldn't be, of course.
I'm not sure. When people say to me, I think we're going to buy our Tommy a drum kit, I say, think hard before you do so. Right. Because you've got to have tolerant neighbours. Because if you've got Doris at one side and I can't stand that. I think it's a case of saying, right, Tommy will play the drums between 5 and 6 on a Wednesday evening, or 2 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon, and that's it. So you can go out. But practice.
We all enjoy your music.
Thank you.
Pulp is still going. Well, actually,
anyway, we're all
sort of
in and out, yeah.
And you are a performer. Referees are performers in their own
Indeed,
way.
yeah, totally.
Keith Hackett, whose views are well known on You Are the Ref, often refers to the conductor in an orchestra for a referee. And you can perhaps, I don't know if that makes you appreciate the role of a referee more, the fact that you're in this band, giving an orchestrated.
I'd never really thought of it as like a conductor, but you are, because you can stop the whole thing and start it on your whim, basically. And we've also kind of seen games ruined by refs by either being too pernickety with their cards and stopping the game, or not being watchful enough, and everyone's kicking lumps out of each other. So
a referee's got to be in tune, hasn't he, with the game?
Yeah, you have got to be. Yeah, certainly. Yeah, and I think similarly playing it in a group, I think the drummer's got a very crucial role. That you've got to keep everyone on the same sort of page, and by giving them signals through the drums that we're doing this bit, and then it's preordained we're going to that bit, or it's a mistake and I'm going to this bit, so you better follow or it's going to sound rubbish.
It's the cement that sort of
sticks it all together. Yeah,
holds it together.
Yeah. See, I've got a theory.
Yeah.
See, because we've got Gordon, goalkeeper. Yeah. I've got myself, drummer. Yeah. I see those two as very similar roles.
Right. Yeah.
Because you're at the back. Mm-hmm. You're doing a kind of a unique role. You've got them wire things to twang or keyboards to press. You're not like a striker jumping around and showing off, which the lead singer is. So if your team has got a rubbish goalie, you're going to be found out and you're going to be a rubbish team. And similarly, in a band, if your drummer is not quite up to scratch, up to the mark, your band will get found out. And a great band's got to have great people throughout all the positions, just as a football team has. You can't carry any dead weight around. Everyone's got to be on top of the game to make yourself a great band.
Brilliant.
And I've told that to Gordon, and he's kind of gone, yeah, I think you're probably right. Yeah.
It's very deep. Very deep.
Drummers can be deep.
You can see that. But just as a drummer is not the main focus in a band, and the goalkeeper isn't, or not always anyway, the main focus in the team, he can be. So a referee tries not to be the main focus.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, it's that kind of melding into the background.
Do they achieve that?
I think that is the ultimate goal of the ref, is to do what he has to do, keep everyone playing the game in the correct spirit, but no one notices the ref. No one should really notice. Like, if you're listening to a great orchestra, you shouldn't really notice the guy at the front waving the baton around. But if he wasn't there, I don't know what the hell they're doing. It's chaos. And similarly, I suppose, on the pitch, he's going to be there and he's going to keep it moving along. But if you don't notice it, job done.
In the World Cup, we didn't notice too many, did we?
No, but I think the only one that sticks out in my mind was the Brazil-Colombia game, where I think the ref let them get away with too much, and then Neymar got the back injury because one of the Colombians sort of decided to use his knee as and Neymar's back as the football. And I think if he'd have been a little bit more on the ball with telling him, pack that in, or you get in the book, it would have calmed down a bit and people would be able to play better. And for better or worse, Neymar probably wouldn't have got his back injury. He would have had to go into the next game, and then no escape there, is there?
Fair point. Born in Rotherham.
Yep.
So where does football take you? Does it take you to the New York Stadium?
I've not actually been to the New York Stadium yet. Used to go with my dad now and again to Millmore when he was in latter years of his life, because he was good friends with Boovey and Ken Booth. So I'd go every now and again. That was great because you'd see him in the director's box slurping the tomato soup after that was hilarious. But I generally get to a few games at Hillsborough, so being here is a bit strange.
Yeah. Well, that's your team. Sheffield Wednesday's your team.
Wednesday's the team, yeah. Indeed. Because for a lot of my sort of formative years, when the band were sort of really trying to get somewhere, football was seen as people in bands don't do football.
Why is that?
Very much so. I think maybe it's a kind of a cyclic nature. But after sort of punk rock came along, it was a very sort of intense sort of time, and you were kind of that sort of part. You're in that sort of group. You're into music, trying to do things different, trying to be original, and sort of football was kind of like lads with the feather cuts and the scarves on, kicking 7 bells out of each other on the corner, and it was like, we're not part of that. We don't do that. But then
rock bands have a certain reputation.
Some do, yeah. Some
kicking
do.
a few bells out of people and smashing up.
Yeah, some do. But for us, it was very much seen as we are not part of that bit of society. But then
snobbery there, is it?
Possibly a bit of snobbery, but if you look a bit different, you've got some meathead coming down at you. You probably think,
Nick, many thanks. It's wonderful to
Great
talk
stuff.
to you.
No problem
Cheers,
at
all
all.
the best.